It's rugby. So today there was only one game that was played between Wales and Georgia. Actually, I only got to go watch it quite late. I actually did a trip to Cape Town for a quote, and I'm quite tired because it's a 4-hour round trip for me. So obviously it took quite a while. But I got to watch the game when I came back. I thought after watching that first 20 minutes, I thought, wow, okay, it looks like this is going to be like an 80 score or something like that, because those first few tries from Wales were just absolutely impressive. Really just broke the Georgian defensive lines. They just carved straight through it, which was super impressive from a Welsh point of view. The other nice thing was that there were fewer handling errors than some of the bigger games this past weekend. A lot of the games this past weekend was characterized with a lot of knock-ons and a lot of handling errors. And I thought there were a lot fewer in this game than any of the other games. I must admit, I don't get to watch Georgia very often, but I'm super impressed with their forwards. I think really good at set piece. That more penalty that they got, was really good. Yeah, true. Welcome, Joe. Yeah, I agree with you there, 100%, Joe. I don't think Wales were really punished, were really tested that much. I've got the stats here in front of me. They got double the run meters. They literally were all over the place. Almost double the passes, almost double the runs, at least 2 times the amount of tries. And it was quite strange. But also the other thing is they actually had more possession and territory in the second half, and they actually scored fewer points. Also went the 50-50 went with Wales. I mean, certainly the second half, it was really disgraceful. Hey, Joe. Yeah, look. It was their first game, but yeah, Georgia can still hold their head up high. I don't think they played astronomically badly. I think after that first 20 minutes, I think they were just completely shell-shocked. And when you're like 20-something points behind, it's quite difficult to obviously claw yourself back. And I think from when they scored their last try at the end, I think it was 2 tries apiece, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it was. But yeah, one little bit of concern was the tackle percentage for Wales was only at 86%, which is pretty not bad. But for a team that wasn't attacking that much, they only had to tackle 92 times, and that's a serious drop off on tackles. And the other thing is the discipline. 10 penalties against Wales. I think any other team would have been punished a lot more. But how was that first kick? What a sitter! And you hit the post. I must admit, it's going to remember that for the rest of his life. We're not going to remember him for that game. We're going to remember it for 5 meters. Hey, Modern Bok. Remember him 5 meters in front of the bloody post and hitting the post. It was, I thought, no, come on. So it was so funny. But it's going to really be in the highlight reel somewhere along the line. I know we got a player in South Africa, Galant. I'm hoping you guys get to see him play, but he did this. He got tackled from behind in this one Currie Cup game, and it was the funniest thing to see how he kicked, because he landed on his back. He was still kicking up in the air, and the ball just bounced a few little steps forward, but real highlight reel kind of stuff. So yeah, very, very funny. But one player that's been impressing me, and I've really enjoyed him since Saracens, is Liam Williams. I think the guy is absolutely magnificent. Those 2 offloads that he did was real. That's New Zealand skill level. Sonny Bill Williams kind of skill level, because those 2 offloads were just sublime. A really good offload is when the defensive line doesn't know you're about to do it, and they didn't know they were about to do it. That was real chicken wing. That was so amazing. I started off at the beginning of this year, and I thought Ben Smith was, for me, the ultimate fullback. He really was. He was everything. But Liam Williams, after watching him play at Saracens and seeing how he's playing for Wales, he has to be knocking on that door. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you there, big time, Joe. Yeah, But I do feel that the humidity is going to drop eventually, and the games are going to be a little bit harder underfoot. I think as the tournament progresses, maybe in the next month, October, they do say that the humidity drops off quite drastically. So I think it's going to be a little bit better later on in the competition for these sides. So I thought it was a great way for Wales to start. Some of the individual players that stood out for me. Sorry if I'm turning my head. I've just got the stats on the one screen here. Attacking. I trying to remember who got man of the match. I know he was a forward. Jay Paul. Yeah, I think that he got man of the match, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't feel he was man of the match. I like Josh Adams. I thought he was amazing. Actually, Jonathan Davies was also really, really good as centre. I'm well impressed with that Welsh side. But I really want to see them when they play against Australia to see where they really are. I think we'll only really know that when they play Australia, because Australia have a bit more of a not saying that the Georgians have a bad set piece, but Australia have a little bit more of a backline flair and things like that. So I think they might be put under a lot more pressure from Australia than they were from Georgia. But yeah, overall, great way to start the game. It's actually quite a pity we only had one game today, and there's only one game tomorrow, which is a real pity. Just go look here. I'm just going to put this on the screen here. So obviously we've only got Russia versus Samoa tomorrow. I've put Samoa to win this game by 14. I think it might be a little bit higher than that. But I was fairly impressed with, I agree with you there, Joe. We have to wait for those games to actually see where Wales actually stands. Coming back to this, I think Samoa are going to beat Russia. I would have put a higher score, but I was quite impressed with the way that Russia played against Japan, and I think they may be able to stand up a bit. I was very, very impressed with the Russian tight head. I think their scrums aren't that bad, and I'm not sure if Samoa is the same kind of team that they were a few years ago. I know they had a fairly decent game against Australia, but yeah, we'll see. But yeah, that's my predictions for tomorrow's game. I just want to actually go through the list, guys, and then we can see when I think the next day we've got Fiji, Uruguay the following day. Thursday we've got 2 games. Friday then we obviously start up again with all the. I've actually got the wrong flags at the bottom. I actually have to fix that. But yeah, let's go back to this. So yeah, that was it for today. Other news that's happening, I think Reece Hodges is going further up the disciplinary rankings. If the guy was cited, then something needs to happen. Let me just get rid of this, and then I'm going to get rid of the screen. I did think it was a hard tackle or however it was. Looking at the video, it just didn't look right, and he has been cited, and then they must be taken further. I've been also Trevor Nyakani being injured. He's obviously going home, which is a little bit of a problem, and we've got Thomas Tutoy coming in. Thomas Tutoy is not a bad prop. He's just not Trevor Nyakani. Trevor Nyakani is the informed tight head. Well, he was the informed tight head in South Africa, probably in the top 3 tight heads in Super Rugby. He was the informed tight head. Excellent. So Joe's just put out that Aki has passed. So he's passed his level 2 assessment. I remember Bundy Aki, we watched that game when we played when Ireland slaughtered us. When he took out Kuni Oosthuizen, you got to be seriously tough to be able to take out Kuni Oosthuizen. So yeah, I think it's really, really hard. I really like to know, because I really liked how CJ Sanders started to play in this World Cup. So I really would like to see him when he goes up to tough opposition. I'm not sure. They only play Japan? I think Ireland only have Japan next. That could be their next big top competition. Then, some people were complaining in the channel about some of the South African people being quite disparaging and rude and stuff like that. Especially they were talking about Brendan Nell, talking about the high tackle that Kieran Reid did. My opinion is, if Russia and them didn't bring it up, then leave it alone. You know what I mean? There's been so many of these things where we've been earmarked as that we're bad sportsmen and we've got bad sportsmanship and stuff like that. And I think it's ridiculous. I know many pundits in South Africa that are positive about South African rugby and not disparaging about other countries' rugby. And then everyone thinks South Africa is going to be slaughtered in the quarters by Ireland. Going on this past weekend's performance, if it were those two games and it was those teams against each other, yes, I'd probably say that Ireland are going to win, to beat us in the quarterfinals. But you probably have to waterboard me for me to say that ever again, Joe. So yeah, I think there's a lot happening. I think we still got to get through the pool games, hopefully with fewer injuries, and we can just manage the players. And I think against Italy, we're still going to play our full strength side. I think we've had too many close calls with Italy. We shouldn't be scared of Italy, but they did beat us when we were under Alistair Coetzee, and we've just got to obviously just get the fear back for our side. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up, that not all of us are bad sportsmen. I started this channel just to be completely positive about South African rugby, because we were in a real bad space. We just lost 57-0. Yeah, that's true. The Ultimate Sharpshooter. Ultimate Sharpshooter has also been a long-time supporter of the channel. Welcome to the chat here. But yeah, I just want to say that I started this channel as to be positive about South African rugby, because there was so much negativity around South African rugby, and that we were becoming a tier 2 nation, and it was driving me a bit crazy. And I thought, I'm going to start this channel just to be positive about South African rugby, try to look at everything in a real positive light. But I welcome people commenting in the channel. I welcome it completely. I love banter. I love people telling me I'm a football, for supporting my side. But it's all in good fun. At the end of the day, it's just a sport. Come on. So yeah, it's just I've just noticed that a little bit, and yeah, let's put that up on the screen so everyone can see that. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to be a real humdinger of a game. So yeah, that's why try go read the about for my page, and you'll see why I call the channel Unbiased Rugby, because I am the most unbiased rugby supporter in the world. And when you read the About Us section, you'll know exactly how I quantify that unbiasedness. And you'll see that I actually am completely unbiased, even though I support the Springboks, the Bulls, all Southern Hemisphere sides, other Argentinian sides, Japan, all the New Zealand sides, then the Australian sides, and then maybe I'll go to the Northern Hemisphere. But I'm completely unbiased, besides those teams that I mentioned. So yeah, tune in again tomorrow, because I think we might have a little bit to chat about. I think a lot of things are going to start coming out, especially the sightings and stuff like that. So because there's not a lot of news happening at the moment, I think we're going to have ugly news coming out. I think that's what's going to start happening. You're going to have the coaches starting into each other's ears. My favorite team in the world is Leinster. You won't believe this, Joe. I was a Munster supporter. I know. And because CJ Stander played for Munster, when I started watching Pro 14, I thought, that's it, Munster's my side. And a long-time supporter of my channel sent me a jersey, or sent Gordon a jersey. And so Joe's just really ragging me here in the thing. And long-time supporter of the channel sent Gordon a jersey, and he asked me which jersey I wanted. And I said, listen, just send me your favorite team in the world, and I'll start supporting that team wholeheartedly. So he sent me a Leinster jersey. I got the European Leinster jersey. So that's my team now going in the Pro 14. I just can't support the Kings. Geez, have I disappeared there off the screen? There we go. I just can't support the Kings. I can't support the Cheetahs until they start winning again. I'm sorry, I just can't. But yeah, so Joe, you don't have to worry. My team that I support in the Pro 14 is Leinster. So even though CJ Thunder doesn't play for them, that's a bit of a problem. But yeah, I think the Ultimate Chops next weeks are going to be fairly boring. I think so too. But I think there's going to be a lot of infighting and a lot of talking. The real modern thing nowadays is for the coaches to start saying things. See, Russie was doing it before the game, and I got a feeling it's going to be happening. I think even Joe Schmidt was starting to do it, calling New Zealand and South Africa heavyweights and them light heavyweights. Now that's just, you can see what he's angling at and what they're playing. Come on, And so I'll still tune in every day just to give the scores of the game and just update everyone on the news that's happening. And then I welcome people to comment in the channel just to say, what's happening, something that I haven't missed, because I don't get to see all the papers, all the news around the world, because I normally watch Off the Ball, and I watch a lot of the Australian and New Zealand channels as well. Yeah, I agree with you, and so I try to watch quite a bit, but I can't get to watch it all, and sometimes I don't pick up the Australian stuff. I definitely don't pick up a lot of the English stuff. I'm trying to get an English YouTuber to maybe come chat on the channel. I think I'm going to see if I'm sending a message today, because it'd be quite nice to get an English perspective on their team. I've only really spoken to them about on the outside, and it'd be nice to get someone who really loves their team and willing to talk about it. Listen, guys, I think I've spoken 6 minutes longer than I should have. Yeah. I've also noticed, Ultimate Sharpshooter and everyone, that don't you notice that you're always hardest on your own team? Like, I look at the Springboks and I think, hey, bloody hell, the other players are much better, and Ireland are so much better coached, and New Zealand have better skills, and Curtly Beale is amazing, but Willie Leroux is not. I find that as a supporter, you're much harder on your own team than you are on anybody else. And if you treated your own team the same way that you looked at other teams, maybe we'd be a lot nicer to our own teams. But yeah, I think now I've gone 7 minutes over. So yeah, I'll tune in again tomorrow. And if you've got any news, please bring it up in the channel. I'll put it up on the screen, and we can all have a quick discussion about it, and we can discuss obviously the game tomorrow and any news that happens tomorrow. Listen, guys, please really be good to each other. Try to be friendly to each other in the comments. It's the World Cup. It's a great get-together, and we try to live by the spirit of the 5 pillars of rugby. Listen, guys, I hope you have an absolutely, absolutely wonderful day tomorrow. It's actually a public holiday or bank holiday here tomorrow in South Africa. It's Heritage Day, but it's actually Braai Day or Barbecue Day. I can't call it that. It's Braai Day, so everyone has fires outside, and we just braai some meat, and not that I eat meat, but braai meat, and we drink a few beers, and then we just have a great day. So anybody in South Africa is having a great Heritage Day tomorrow. Enjoy your braai. It's be awesome. And I just hope that everyone in the rest of the world just takes care of each other. Chat soon. Cheers. Bye.